Hey, that wind is nothing compared to what's going down in Florida, and we're talking about Hurricane Ian, now a high Category 4 hurricane making landfall on the west coast of Florida, and we'll be touching on that throughout the show, as many people are probably curious as to what's going down there. Well, as we were just teasing with Midday there, dealing with wind gusts, or not wind gusts, but sustained wind at 155 miles an hour, and hey, I thought 60-mile-an-hour winds were bad here in the winter. I'm here with Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki and Ag Director Bridget Riedel. How is your guys' afternoon going so far today?
Well, compared to Florida, quite well.
Yeah, very well, very well.
Man. Bridget?
I think this is the day I will not complain about wind.
Right? No doubt about it. Boy, and they're expecting storm surge through the Fort Myers area. They're getting about 8-foot storm surge right now. They're high tide, as I believe, in an hour. And this thing is moving so slow at a snail's pace. I think Fort Myers is going to be in for some, unfortunately, devastating flooding down there. So makes our weather look quite tranquil, for sure.
Oh, it definitely does. So we'll be touching on Hurricane Ian as well as the forecast up in our area for today. We're going to know what the next week is going to look like, and hey, it looks like it's going to be fairly nice weather. Coming up on the show, we're going to try and hit a handful of topics, including a little bit about drone aerial application with the Guardian Ag eVTOL, transportation training for protecting animals and meat quality, and also it is honey month here in North, or September is honey month, I should say. And Bridget, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe North Dakota is the #1 producer of honey. Is that correct?
We are. I saw some statistics trying to give it to South Dakota, but no, we still win. And so it is honey month, and I learned a lot of things about honey I didn't even expect, such as bees will travel up to 55,000 miles as they go back and forth from flowers to the hive to create 1 pound of honey. When they say busy as a bee,
wow,
now I know why.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, we'll touch on that and so much more. And we have a guest on today, Bridget, right? And that's JoDee Free. She's an ag educator at, is it Harvey High School?
Yep, the Harvey High School in North Dakota. JoDee's going to join us. She's also their FFA advisor. She has worked in high schools as well as at the state level as the state FFA assistant advisor. We have lots of good questions for her about that program, what kids do in the classroom, as well as in their FFA chapter.
Well, awesome. Well, if you would like to join in on our conversation or ask any questions anytime during the show, feel free to give us a call at 701-293-9000, 701-293-9000, or you can always send those weather or ag-related topics or questions during or after the show to weatherorag@flagfamily.com. We'll be right back here right after ABC News.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. It's not quite a Category 5, but it's close. Hurricane Ian's winds are 155 miles an hour, making it a Category 4 storm, but just below Cat 5 strength. The wind, however, isn't what FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell is most concerned about.
When it comes to hurricanes, water. Water is dangerous, period. From coastal storm surge to inland flooding, the majority of the state of Florida is in Ian's crosshairs.
Dangerous and in some cases life-threatening, says Acting Deputy Director of the National Hurricane Center, Michael Brennan.
We're looking now at the potential for storm surge inundation in Charlotte Harbor, places like that, up to 18 feet above ground level. That's 3 times as tall as I am. So this is not a survivable scenario if you're in one of these storm surge evacuation zones, particularly in that area.
ABC's Rob Marciano is in St. Petersburg.
We expect to see surge flooding here later on today, and obviously the rain and the wind has moved north and east, and northwest of the center where we are, it's surprisingly a huge wind field. So this is going to be a wide swath of damaging winds as we go through the next 6 to 12 hours, really. The center of this thing's not going to get over Orlando, really, for another 24 hours.
Just as Vice President Harris is set to arrive in South Korea and visit the demilitarized zone, North Korea launches more missiles.
South Korean intelligence also reporting that Kim Jong-un's nation is preparing an underground nuclear test tunnel for a blast that could happen next month. The Pentagon reaffirming its commitment to defending South Korea and Japan.
That's ABC's Andy Field. The European Union is threatening retaliation against Russia after 2 underwater natural gas pipelines were damaged by dual explosions in the Baltic Sea. Some experts say Russia would benefit from further market instability. EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen is also proposing even harsher sanctions on Russia following the sham referendums in eastern Ukraine that showed overwhelming support for Russian rule. You're listening to ABC News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/work. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work. ZipRecruiter.com/work.
Bogard Farms is hiring truck drivers for the beet season. No CDL required. Full hookup campground available. Great pay and overtime await you. Call 701-371-2180.
See the top axe throwers from across the country in Fargo at the national competition this Friday and Saturday. Live at Fargo Billiards and Gastropub with free sampling of North Dakota Sweet Crude and Sweet Crude Orange on Friday night. Watch these men and women compete Friday 2 to 10 and Saturday all day beginning at 9. You can try throwing yourself and compete in the Far Throw competition. There are Sweet Crude drink specials and great food both days. Sponsored by North Dakota Sweet Crude and DS Beverages at Fargo Billiards and Gastropub this Friday and Saturday.
Bogard Farms is hiring truck drivers for the beet season. No CDL required. Full hookup campground available. Great pay and overtime await you. Call 701-371-2180.
From the North Dakotas for Comprehensive Energy Solutions Studios in Fargo, it's WDAY Midday, your best source for news, weather, and agriculture. Your daily afternoon focus on weather and agriculture starts now.
And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus here on WDAY, and I'm Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki, along with meteorologist extraordinaire. He gets 2 today, Justin Storm.
You threw in 2, wow.
Yeah, you're doing a good job lately. You got to give,
Thanks, man.
And
you too.
Our wonderful and talented Ag Director, Bridget Riedel. We want to thank everybody for joining us this afternoon. And obviously, the big weather topic of today is Hurricane Ian. And taking a look at radar right now, this is making landfall now. It's scraped right along Sanibel Island. Now it's slowly creeping northward, making landfall between Cape Coral and Englewood. Areas around Fort Myers really took it bad with this storm surge, and it continues to take it bad. And this is moving very slowly northward now, under 10 miles an hour. I believe last I saw was about 7 miles an hour. So a very slow-moving storm. That's going to produce massive flooding, unfortunately. Storm surge upwards of 10 feet, 10 to 20 feet in some areas. But a general 10 to 15-foot storm surge, though, is likely. And this is just a massive hurricane. It's making landfall now, top end, Cat 4, 155-mile-an-hour winds. And look at the center of that eye. That's starting to close off a bit, indicating, all right, it's making landfall. It should start to weaken slowly here. But boy, oh boy, it's going to be sad to see the devastation this ends up doing in terms of flooding, storm surge, all of that. And I'm pretty sure I got this right, but I believe this is the 4th largest hurricane to make landfall in the United States. So it's slow moving, and that is the big problem. If this was a quick moving storm, it'd be less of a hassle. But boy, oh boy, this is going to do some major damage down in parts of Florida.
Right. I mean, this thing is just extending everywhere. And if you're watching us on our Facebook stream, we're showing a little bit of satellite and radar of this storm. But I mean, just look at the size of it from one radar beam or one radar site here by Northport. I mean, we have bands stretching all the way up to Jacksonville, and I'm sure it even extends a little further north than that if we switch up to a little further. It's not going to load up, but I mean, just look at how big this storm is. I mean, it's extending all the way up into the East Coast, and that's got to be several 100-mile wide hurricane.
Yeah, and it's just, again, the big part is storm surge, and now with this slowing down and storm surge or high tide coming here in about, I believe, about an hour. Hopefully, this whole thing gets inland before that high tide hits, which it looks like it should. It's going to be a close call, but that's the last thing you want is this massive hurricane hitting at high tide. That just exacerbates the storm surge coming into the coast.
Right, and the worst of that storm surge is going to be by, I believe it's Cape Coral, Fort Myers, up towards the Macro Islands. So this area right here where you're getting all these strong winds whipping in out of the southwest, it's just pushing all of that water inland, while up on the north side of this shore, we heard yesterday on the Jay Thomas show, they sometimes refer to this as a dirty or a clean side. Well, all the water gets rushed in on the southern side of these hurricanes, at least in this instance, where all the water on the north side starts to retreat away from the water. And I've seen a few reports from people calling, and they're like, or not calling in here, but reports online, where is all the water going? Why is it pulling off of shore? Well, you got 155 mile per hour wind whipping waves out to sea. It's going to pull everything out there with it.
Yeah, and I saw pictures on, Jay was showing me some pictures of Tampa Bay, and this happened a few hurricanes ago too, where they're on the north side of that hurricane, so you're getting these winds whipping out of the northeast, and that's actually pulling all of the water, not all of the water, but it's pulling, I believe it was 6 feet of water out of Tampa Bay. He was showing me pictures where the water should be up to the top of the docks, and it wasn't. It was, I mean, you could see the bottom of the docks. So that water's got to come back, and hopefully it comes back in a slower pace for the Tampa Bay region as well.
Right, and then this thing is going to continue to work its way slowly across Florida, back up into the Atlantic, and then it possibly even make a second landfall up by Savannah. At that point, much, much weaker and not anywhere near the severity. But this thing is just going to kind of work its way across and then back up into this area. Through here is the expected trajectory of that hurricane. So it's going to take about a full day for it to go from one side of Florida to the other side. And we heard that it's only moving at about 9 miles an hour, but I mean, not just that, we have to worry about tornadoes down there as well. So it's just a mess down there, and it's not going to be pretty to see the aftermath once this rolls out.
Right. If you've ever been in a hurricane before, I'd love to hear your stories. 701-293-9000, 701-293-9000. We were talking with a gentleman earlier this morning, and he said this is the worst storm that he's ever been in. He's lived in Florida for, I believe he said, 15, 20 years, and he said this is the worst storm that he's encountered. Not scared, he said, but overly concerned, which, I mean, that's an understatement for sure. In fact, he had to retreat from his place. He was about 40 miles, I believe, south of Tampa Bay, and he stayed put until late this morning, and he said, we've got to go. The flooding was already occurring. He was about 1,000 feet away from the shoreline, I believe, and they're already seeing flooding then, so he said that's enough. So they went inland about 30 minutes, and now they're going to get hit where he's at here coming up later this afternoon. So the whole peninsula, all the way up into Jacksonville, where they're supposed to get flooding. So only places escaping this in Florida would be the Panhandle and Miami, escaping a lot of this. They had some severe weather earlier, but they're escaping the majority of this. So those are the only two places in the whole entire state. Again, there's going to be a lot of damage done to this. So it'll be interesting to see when all is said and done. And Bridget, you were saying that you've got a citrus agronomist that's going to hopefully get on with us after this storm passes over the next few days, and to see what damage is done to the citrus crop. Or is there any damage? Are they in full bloom right now? And I know we normally worry about the citrus in the wintertime when you get those cold air masses surging down into Florida, and you freeze the citrus crops, and, well, there go the prices. So I wonder if this would have the same effect. Interesting to find out.
Well, it'll have to do with how much damage is to the trees. If we have trees that are uprooted, that can be our greatest concern, because if those trees have uprooted, now it's not just a 1 year hiccup. This is a long-term situation until they can begin to rebuild the groves that may have had damage. And my question for you guys is, as we think about this storm, the winds will die down as it weakens and crosses the peninsula, moving over towards the east coast, but the rainfall will not, correct? And so that amount of rainfall and flooding, that could be flooding some of the trees. And how long will they have to sit in flooded waters? That could also affect their long-term growth as well.
And the problem is, before this storm hit, much of the peninsula they couldn't take much more water. It's been a wet summer down there.
Right.
And so this just really exacerbates it. And like you said, you get these winds along with it. It's just going to uproot those, that root system becomes a lot weaker when you're that wet. So yikes.
Yeah, when you have saturated soils, it can't hold itself up, right? That tree is just going to tip over. Right. So once this all passes through, because the citrus agronomist I'd like to visit with is at Fort Myers. He's a little busy right now. Evacuating and all.
Sure.
So we're going to talk later. Mm-hmm.
Good.
The other thing with that too is just that, what was it? 70% of all citrus is grown in Florida, or the citrus crops.
Huge majority for the U.S. Now, granted, we also import some citrus, but the majority is here in the U.S.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we're going to get our guests lined up here, so stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to get JoDee Free on with us. She's an ag educator at the Harvey High School. We're going to talk all about what it is that she does, FFA, what their chapter is doing, and so much more. So if you'd like to join in on our conversation, ask some questions, give us a call, 701-293-9000. Again, that phone number is 701-293-9000. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Is your precious jewelry in need of some TLC? At Wimmers, we believe in love. Loving your old jewelry, that is, so you'll wear it every day. Perhaps you have an item that needs a little repair, an update to match your style, a ring you'd like to convert to a pendant? Bring your beloved well-worn jewelry to Wimmers, and we'll assist you in reimagining an updated version or give it a brand new look. Fall in love with those special pieces all over again. Wimmers Diamonds. Repair, reimagine, restyle.
Download the app, sign up, and say bye-bye, bugs. Tommy's Express Car Wash is that easy. Tommy's offers a cleaner car wash and an overall better experience. Wash your car as often as needed. And the best part, after 3 washes, it pays for itself, and you can use it at all 3 other FM locations. Download the app, pre-buy, and skip the line. Or stop by one of their 3 locally owned Tommy's Express Car Wash locations. Tommy's Express Car Wash. Love your ride.
Guess who's coming to West Fargo? Hi, this is Matthew Carlson, owner of Fix It Forward Auto Care. Come visit us at our new location at 1224 13th Avenue East in front of Menards. Our growing team provides the quality, integrity, and service that you've come to expect, now with 3 Fargo, Moorhead, and West Fargo locations. Find us online at fixitforwardautocare.com. Fix It Forward Auto Care, the name you trust for car repair.
Fix It Forward Auto Care.
There's a new force of nature coming your way. It has 0 emissions, plus the rugged versatility of a Subaru. Presenting the 2023 Subaru Solterra with 8.3 inches of ground clearance and standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. This all equals money-saving safety and reliability. Check out the new Solterra today at Muscatel Subaru, just off Exit 1 in Moorhead, or online at muscatelsubaru.com. Love is now electric.
Do you wonder why so many young people are identifying as transgender? Are you concerned with how this movement is impacting the next generation and our country? Do you want to engage on the transgender topic, but aren't sure where to begin or what to say? If you want answers to these questions and more, go to ndcan.org, ndcan.org right now, and join us in Bismarck on October 15th for North Dakota's first conference on gender. Become inspired and empowered to weigh in on the most significant cultural and political issue of our time. You'll hear from expert speakers such as Epic Times journalist Alex Newman, author of Crimes of the Educators, and former transgender Walt Heyer, who's been featured on Laura Ingraham, Glenn Beck, and Candace Owens. There is limited seating for this event, so go right now to ndcan.org. Again, that's ndcan.org to reserve your tickets today.
And welcome to WDAY, Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm Bridget Riedel. I'm Chief Meteorologist. Oh, wait, I'm the meteorologist now. I just said that, guys. Nice.
Got promoted.
Awesome.
I get to be Dean today.
All right.
Actually, I'm the ag director. Dean Wysocki is chief meteorologist. Justin Storm, nothing changes, pal. You're still the meteorologist extraordinaire. We like that.
Hey, I'm okay with that.
We are so glad that you are here to listen and to join us. You are welcome to bring us phone calls at 701-293-9000. And you can reach out to us, weather or ag, at flagfamily.com, and reach us by email. Our guest today is Miss JoDee Free. JoDee is taking time out of her class schedule. Gee, I hope it's a prep period. And she's joining us from Harvey High School, where she is the Ag Education and FFA Chapter Advisor. Howdy, JoDee.
Hey, Bridget, how are you?
I'm good. Also, thank you for not using our college nicknames on air. Bless you. So,
now we need to dig into that.
Yeah.
There's the connection. I'm going to let that slide. All right. So, JoDee, you've been teaching for a couple of years. Where have you been teaching? What have you done in your career as an ag teacher?
Thank you, Bridget. Only a couple. You are correct. This is year 24 for me. I started out in Gackle Streeter, and I taught there for 10 years. Then I went to Castleton, and I taught there for another 6 years. When I was in Castleton, I got the opportunity to apply for a job with our state career and technical education department, and in the ag education department with them. And I got accepted for that job, so I spent 3 years at the state capitol working for ag education as their assistant director on the 15th floor. And then I decided I needed to come back to the classroom. I missed the kids, crazy enough to say, I think, and the actual teaching and being with them on a daily basis. So now I am in my hometown where I graduated from, teaching in my same classroom that I took classes in, and I've been here in Harvey for 4 years.
So, JoDee, I talk a lot about FFA on air as a program, as well as the benefits of 4-H. What do you do in an ag education program as that teacher? What are the subject matters that you touch on? What are you doing for kids to prepare them for the future?
So in ag education, we really are kind of a all trades kind of group here. For example, this morning I was teaching woodworking, and then I moved on to some wildlife management. We just got done talking about cloning in the animal industry and genetically modified animals and plants. And next I'll have a group of 8th graders that'll come in, and I'll be teaching them how to use power tools today. And then I'll end with a little more wildlife, and that's a typical day for me. Lots and lots of variation, but we cover everything from ag business to marketing to turf grass management, landscaping, crop and weed science, welding, woodworking, electricity, plumbing. We have a greenhouse here in Harvey, so we do a lot of plant work in there. We just cover anything you can think of in the agricultural world. We pretty much touch on it, so that what we're trying to do is give our kids a good, broad explanation of what ag is, and let them know that we just are not farming and ranching. There's lots of opportunity for everyone in our ag world.
And JoDee, tell me, what differences have you noticed? You've been doing this 24 years, I believe you said. What difference have you noticed in terms of the kids from now opposed to 24 years ago? In terms of, are there more kids that are enrolling? Is there less kids that are enrolling, and stuff like that?
Here in North Dakota, we've actually seen growth in our programs for the last 10, 15 years. We currently have 92 schools that have ag education and FFA chapters. We have 110 instructors, and as far as student growth goes, our amount of students in our state this is a rough estimate, is around 10,000 to 11,000 kids who are taking some sort of ag education class. In our FFA world, as FFA members, we are at a record high the last few years. We're over 7,000 FFA members in our state. So since I've been teaching, and we've definitely seen an increase of students and schools wanting our programs. And a lot of that has to do with the changes that we've been doing in our curriculums, more science-based, a lot more career education about the different opportunities that there is. We do a lot of public speaking, a lot of those soft job skills. So kids come out of our program with such a wide variety of information. I think that's truly why we've seen our increase. And not only that, we definitely have seen an increase in male versus female students in our classes and in our instruction.
Interesting. Now, I know a couple of, I'll call them teenagers. They're juniors, seniors in high school, and during the summer they work, they'll usually work either out on the farm or they're working, doing landscaping, cutting grass, laying turf, stuff like that. And I told them, I'm like, listen, you might want to take some of these classes in high school to get more educated on like turf management and stuff like that. Would you agree? Is that kind of the way to push, especially if they want to get into the agriculture side? Maybe they want to own their own landscaping business. I mean, you can help educate them in that aspect as well, correct?
Absolutely. We encourage kids to come in and we call it a 3-part program. And one of our parts to our program is called Supervised Agricultural Experience. And what we as teachers do is we actually help them develop and keep records and train in some cases on like a summer job like that they do. And we help them keep records, the business side of it. We can get them hooked up with maybe an internship and things like that. But we use that kind of information in our classroom as well. But yeah, that's part of our job, is to help them with their summer jobs and their interests. And during the summers, we actually go on visits. Well, actually,
I think we lost.
Oh, wait, sorry.
Did we lost JoDee?
I think we just lost her.
We're going to take our commercial break, and hopefully we'll have her back on the line, and we'll continue our conversation with JoDee Free. She is the ag teacher at Harvey, North Dakota's high school, and she's also their FFA advisor. So we'll get JoDee back, and we'll keep visiting right after this.
Hey, it's 494 Ronnie from the Jay Thomas Show. And listen, MyPillow is having one of their biggest sales of the year, this time percale sheets. They're available in a variety of colors and sizes and are all on sale. For example, the queen size regular price, $89.98, now only $39.98 with your promo code WDAY. Order now, because when they're gone, they're gone. The percale sheets are breathable and have a cool, crisp feel. These come with a 10-year warranty. Nobody else gives you that. And a 60-day money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible offer. There is a limited supply. So order now. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener square, and use promo code WDAY. You will also get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. Call 800-875-0644 and use promo code WDAY, or go to MyPillow.com. That's MyPillow.com. Using promo code WDAY. Join us on Tuesday at 10:06 a.m. when we bring you the Luther Family Ford Nonprofit of the Week on the Coffee Club. This is one of the most special things we do to honor and showcase our local nonprofits, because they are the lifeblood of keeping our community safe, fed, housed, educated, and more. Join us at 10:06 a.m. every Tuesday when we bring you another Luther Family Ford Nonprofit of the Week on WDAY's The Coffee Club.
There's fast, and then there's fiber fast. Get the fastest speeds around with a fiber connection from 702 Communications. Add more people and smart devices without slowing down your business. And who makes sure all your systems work together? That's us too. Choose 702 Communications Managed Services for hardware, networking, monitoring, security, and more. Speed meets support with 702 Communications Fast Fiber Network and Managed Services. Get connected at 702com.net.
Designer smiles in your name. tells me that I get to design a smile. I just got to talk to you.
That's right. Designer meaning we can customize any sort of smile that you ultimately want. If you want something that a celebrity in Hollywood versus something that's just better than what you currently have, what your goal is or what is the most important aspect of your smile, we're going to customize or tailor or made our treatment to best suit your needs or what your desire is.
Call 298-9400, 298-9400, or go to fargodentalcare.com. That's the website for Dr. Jeff Harry, Designer Smiles.
If you're a rock star truck driver, you should check out Prairie Supply. Prairie Supply has good, long-standing relationships in the construction industry across North Dakota and the Central Plains. They are looking for passionate CDL drivers who are self-motivated and hands-on. As a driver for Prairie Supply, you'll be well paid and receive full benefits. They want to keep their people through an environment of success and advancement options. If traveling the open road sparks your interest, visit prairiesupply.com, where they value their customers and employees.
Attention all business owners who rent or lease space, including storage space. Stop wasting your money paying someone else for your space. You can now save a ton of money and own your own building with the incredible sale prices from General Steel. That's right, start saving money every month on renting space from others. Just call 877-25-STEEL to see how General Steel can help you save money. Our 50-year structural warranty buildings are custom designed for your needs and save you a ton of money. Call 877-25-STEEL.
Take it from a successful entrepreneur. If you need to expand or start a new business, you need General Steel.
Great team and the competitive pricing is the reason I went with General Steel.
Call 877-25-STEEL now, and you can get any of our popular quick construction structures, including a 40 by 60 foot building or a 50 by 100 clear span building, fast and easy. Call 877-25-STEEL. That's 877-257-8335. 877-25-STEEL.
And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm meteorologist Justin Storm with Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki and Ag Director Bridget Riedel. And our guest today, JoDee Free. We got her back on the line. Sorry about that, JoDee. I think Bridget might have hung up on you there on accident or something. But if you'd like to join in on our conversation, ask JoDee or us any questions, give us a call at 701-293-9000. Again, that phone number to ask those questions would be 701-293-9000. Now, JoDee, I wanted to ask, because you were talking about your classes getting bigger, the more schools are picking up these classes and everything. Is it just ag kids that are getting involved in these agriculture classes and FFA classes and different chapters, or are you seeing an increase in people who don't come from an ag background taking these classes? And I kind of ask that because when I was in high school, I have no ag background whatsoever, kind of grew up in a decent sized small town, but I just found it so enjoyable. I took 2 greenhouse production classes and 1 ag class to fill an elective, and I didn't think I was going to like them at all, and it just turned out to be so much fun and interesting.
You are absolutely correct. We are seeing an increase in all students. As you know, our state, the actual students that come from a true production ag background is becoming less and less. And the students we're seeing in our classroom are from all backgrounds. And they're enjoying it. We are a true hands-on STEM type classroom. They love to come in here and work with plants or woodwork, welding, electricity. The things we talk about are relevant to what their life is going to be, and we try as instructors to bring that back around to, like, this is the information you're going to need, when you turn 18 and go into the big world. But yes, the increase in our students of non-ag backgrounds is always increasing. I couldn't give you any statistics, but thinking about like my 8th grade class that I'll have in a little bit, there's 19 that'll be in my room in a little while, and I think there's probably 5 of them that actually have some kind of production ag background, whether they live on the farm or their fathers and mothers still go out to the farm and help, and a couple more that maybe have like a trucking or a mechanic, that kind of situation. But these classes definitely are for everybody. And most kids do find them enjoyable because it's just a different atmosphere.
Right, definitely. And with these classes, you said you have such a wide range and variety from a greenhouse class to welding, wood shop, electricity. Does the school at Harvey do anything with the community and, say, the high school classes? And I'm asking, I guess I'll try and put it in this term. When I went to high school, we had some of those classes, and we had a trades class, and it was a 2-year or a 1-year class, fall and spring. But you would build a house, and then you would wire it, you would plumb it, you would get it all ready, and then it would get auctioned off to a family in need. And in our greenhouse production class, we would grow all the plants through the winter, and we'd do a huge discounted sale in the spring for the community. Do your classes at Harvey High School do something similar for the community, where you're kind of educating the students but also giving back to the community at the same time?
So in ag education, we do not build the houses like you are talking about. That is the construction tech part of career and technical education, with actual licensed construction type people. We here will teach them how to do the basics of everything, but we can't actually build a house and sell it for people. We do little sheds, or some schools do little sheds and things like that, like an 8x12 or whatever, and those we can sell to people in the community. And there's a lot of greenhouses in North Dakota that do the plant sales and things like that. Here in Harvey, we've never done a plant sale before. Most of the things that we do is just for true student education purposes. I've given away a lot of extra plants, but we've never grown them for an actual plant sale as a fundraiser, that kind of thing. And then as far as like your community aspect you were talking about, I guess for us, that's kind of the FFA part in the service project area. We get random phone calls often, people needing help, or, do you have some strong kids that can come help us with this? And we do service projects throughout the community. We're a big supporter of like our Central Dakota Food Pantry here, and those kind of things. So those are kind of the ways that our FFA chapter, I guess, does the community service part of it.
Okay.
And JoDee, that's a huge point. Is there's a lot of schools that have a community garden or greenhouses, and they support, like you said, their community, but also giving those skills to students. And that brings you back to that third leg of the stool, where students can have projects, their supervised ag experience programs, where they may be actively production farming, raising cattle, owning their own business, maybe gardening, maybe they grow rutabagas and sell them at a roadside stand. And all of those things bring together the skills for students, what they get in the classroom, as well as in what they do for their project. And then that ties back to FFA and its contests, correct? So a lot of those skills get to go back to them winning?
Yeah, absolutely. The skills that we teach here should directly correlate to the FFA career development events and leadership development events. And we don't teach those in class per se, but the information and skills that we do teach correlate to like the livestock judging or the food science competition, floriculture, nursery landscape, those kind of things. And that is our hope, that the skills that we teach can be used for those kids who like competition and the FFA parts, and can be used in a project or a business, or maybe ending up being their career job, business that they start as a high schooler, or internship that they work at. We certainly hope that those skills will coincide and go through their years with them. And the leadership development part, I mean, that's a big thing for us. Public speaking and teamwork and responsibility and time management. We just do a lot of that with our officer team and our chapter members, and trying to bring that into the reality of you will need that for the rest of your life. Here in Harvey, we also do the co-op work program with businesses. Seniors are able to take our co-op program, and then we place them with businesses. So that's another part, hopefully, the skills and leadership concepts that they learn here in our classroom, they can carry over into a job that they do for us during co-op.
And JoDee, with your 20 plus years of teaching, is there any one thing that kind of stands out, maybe that a student did or maybe a student came back to you and said, man, JoDee, thank you so much for doing this. This really helped me in my career. Is there any one thing in your career that really stands out to you?
I get a lot of students from, especially like my first 10 years in Gackle Streeter. They're kind of in their mid-career now and changing or whatever, and come back and go, man, I am still using that public speaking and that teamwork ability that you really drilled into us in my everyday job. Like, I'd never realized, Miss Free, how important that was, and some of those conflict resolution skills and those kind of things. I have a couple students that are full-fledged production ag farmers, and they will come up to me and say, I now realize why you used to say, I can't teach you to farm, but I can teach you the concepts and how to go about finding the information. Funny stories that I remember, man. I had a kid who got his wood project glued to a table. Kids are funny. They still bring that up to me. It's great stuff. Or they come back and tell you the little things they did. But I think the biggest thing for me is just students when they go to like a 2-year college and they come back and say, in your ag business class, you did economics with us in futures markets, and that was my first 3 or 4 weeks in college. Thank you for at least allowing me to know what that is and not be like totally starstruck and dumbfounded, and I was able to follow right along. That means a lot as a high school teacher.
That's awesome.
That is.
And now wait, before we go, JoDee, we have to know. We have to know one of Bridget's nicknames. There's probably many. Can you give any away?
Nope,
I
don't think she can. And in fact, we've known each other now. Bridget was a competitor of mine in high school.
Okay.
In FFA, so we really didn't like each other back then.
Oh.
But then we met in college, and we kind of became friends. And we made a pact a long time ago that nicknames and what happened in college stays in college.
That's a smart pact.
That she knows way too much about me.
I'm sending her flowers later for keeping that all quiet. Thank you so much, JoDee.
That's a good friend you got there.
Yeah, I tried.
Thank you so much. No, we're not letting him guess, JoDee. No, that's not how this works. All right. Thank you for taking the time between classes today before your rowdy 8th graders get there. We really appreciate it. Again, we talk a lot about ag in the classroom, FFA, and the things that happen in that organization, and you just were able to shed some light on it for a lot of folks who may not be familiar with it, but maybe now they want FFA and ag education at their school. So thank you, JoDee Free, Harvey High School. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys.
We are going to also have a chance to come back and recap some weather and talk about some ag headlines just after a few moments. And so please don't leave. You're going to want to hear what we have to say right after this.
UFTA. It's UFTA Day, Sunday, October 2nd in Rutland, North Dakota. And Wallach Johnson Insurance, proudly insuring North Dakota agriculture since 1981, welcomes everyone to the fun of UFTA Day, Sunday, October 2nd.
Save now on premium mattresses, pillows, bases, and linens at Accord Comfort Sleep Systems directly across from Olive Garden. Find the best mattress design and construction with our exclusive technologies such as our Accord Comfort Reflex Layer, ensuring proper spinal alignment. Our Thermodyne climate control fabric is perfect for the couple sleeping hot and cold. Buy today and take it home today, or free delivery in the FM metro area. Accord Comfort Sleep Systems. You're going to love sleeping with us.
Hey guys, Ryan here from Dave's West Fargo Tire and Service. Did you know that we offer full-service automotive repair and maintenance, not just tires and oil changes? With fuel and vehicle prices being high, properly maintaining the car you have now is more important than ever. Why replace what you already have? Let us help you keep your vehicle performing in top condition. Give us a call at 277-8618, on the web at davestire.net, in person at 1225 Main Avenue East in West Fargo. Stop by and see us. Your car will be glad you did.
One of the most heavily attended fundraisers will happen again Monday, October 3rd at the Hilton Garden Inn in Fargo. The annual Perry Center Fall Fundraiser. Testimonies from residents who can tell you firsthand of the mission of the Perry Center. Our guests also include Victoria Robinson, Stevenson Holland, and our mystery speaker. This event will fill quickly, so reserve your seats today. Go to perrycenter.org. That's perrycenter.org. Monday, October 3rd, the Perry Center, a place of healing, hope, and new beginnings.
Oofda! It's Oofda Day, Sunday, October 2nd in Rutland, North Dakota. And Wallach Johnson Insurance, proudly insuring North Dakota agriculture since 1981, welcomes everyone to the fun of Oofda Day, Sunday, October 2nd.
Wheat markets soared higher on the day Wednesday as the U.S. dollar broke lower. This is the American Ag Network of Jesse Allen with this closing market update. We saw positive money flow from the outside markets, providing tailwinds for the commodity sector, but the high VIX led traders to use caution in building ownership, being selective in what they bought on Wednesday. Wheat prices led the ags higher with Ukraine risks remaining high. Russian President Vladimir Putin continues to hold a nuclear threat over Ukraine, which would negatively impact wheat storage and production in the affected area, while risks are also growing that Russia will shut down the safe corridor agreement that allows grain to move out of the southern Ukrainian ports. Now, on the soybean side, we recovered from some heavy selling pressure early on Wednesday to finish mixed to higher. Corn got more bad demand news on the day with some lower numbers in ethanol production from the Energy Information Administration, but corn did finish mixed to higher as well. Overall, outside of livestock, it was a decent day on Wednesday. Wednesday's final numbers: December corn up 3, 670.5. March corn up 3 3/4, 676.5. November soybeans up 3/4, 1408 3/4. January up 2 1/4, 1416 1/4. October bean meal down 430 a ton, 421.80. October bean oil down 14 points, 65.52. Chicago wheat December 31 3/4 higher, 903 1/4. March up 30 3/4, 915. December Kansas City wheat up 32 3/4, 976. Spring wheat December up 27 3/4 at 971. Spring wheat for March up 25 1/4 at 973 1/4. October hogs 67 higher, 89.37. December down 42 75.82. Feeder cattle October down 112 175. Live cattle October down 52 143.05. December down 62 at 146.27. That's closing markets for Wednesday on the American Ag Network. I'm Jesse Allen.
And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. And, boy, you know, I love talking to teachers. Do you guys have that one teacher you remember in high school? And did you ever go back and say, you know what? Thank you so much for what you did. I know teachers love hearing that when their ex-students will come back. Maybe you were the class clown. I'm not saying I was, but maybe, so, you know, I could see Justin maybe.
I think Wysocki was.
But then you go back to him and you say, you know what, thanks for everything you did. I learned so much from your class. I think teachers love hearing that. I think we all have that one teacher.
Yep,
I think so too, and I think going back and thanking them is probably the most important thing you can do, because I don't know that that happens every time.
Right. I think more so maybe back in the day than it probably does now. But, well, let's talk weather here as we round out our show. And we'll kind of focus locally. Locally, not a bad day today. A little bit on the windy side, some high clouds through the northern plains. The coldest core of this high-pressure area now moving off into southern Minnesota, into Wisconsin. On its backside, southerly winds ramping up. Some pretty warm temperatures in the 80s expected out in the western parts of the Dakotas. And we're all going to get in on some 70s and even, a few 80s out in the western parts of the Dakotas here over the next few days, all the way through the upcoming weekend. So a nice mild stretch of weather. Now this morning, there was many areas that saw a pretty good frost, Bridget. We escaped it here in Fargo. But many areas surrounding Fargo did touch the freezing mark and some spots a little below that. So, I mean, in general, the growing season is over, although in the Fargo area proper, it's not. And now we've got overall.
Overall, we're pretty much done. I
Yeah.
happen to be close to Oakley, Minnesota right now, and they were, especially as you go further north towards Hallock in northern Minnesota, they were down to 28, 29 degrees for an extended period of time last night. So they are definitely done right now.
Great. Yeah, and well, I mean, it's that time of the year. It is, and we'd like to hold it off a little bit longer, but
I got lucky last night with that because it hit 30 degrees here in Grand Forks. I left my hibiscus tree out last night and my wild tomato bush at this point uncovered. I went out there today. It's completely fine. There's nothing wrong with either of them.
Good deal. And we've got some nice
Snuck
mild
by.
weather. Yeah, enjoy the weather that we've got coming over the next 5 days. I still don't see a big cold snap through about maybe another one around the 10th. But other than that, it looks like the first part of October starting out on the mild note. We'll take it. How about more on the hurricane, Justin?
Yeah, that's still making its way inland right now, and I'm just going to pull this up for those of us who are watching on Acres TV, Facebook, on our YouTube channel as well. That's all Weather and Ag in Focus if you want to go out there. But yeah, that hurricane's still making its way inland. We're starting to see that eye creeping closer to the Cape Coral area, which we'll probably start to get some images out of that area soon. From people with inside the eye. But I mean, this is just a massive storm. If we just kind of zoom out and take a wide picture at it, I mean, this is 200, if you extend it all the way up to the Florida border, over 300 miles of area being affected by this hurricane. Of course, the worst of this is contained to about a 50-mile area between, or kind of right in the epicenter of Fort Myers, where they're still dealing with those winds gusting up to about 100 or sustained at 150 miles an hour and still even gusting a little higher than that. And I have the satellite pulled up here as well. So this is a very strong Category 4 hurricane, bringing in upwards of 10 to 18 feet of storm surge into that Fort Myers Bay area as well as some of the surrounding area. But if you head up towards Tampa, they're not really getting in on the storm surge, not quite as windy as conditions. I think they're getting wind around 70, 80 miles an hour right now, but it's just the amount of rain that's going to be falling in this area. Upwards of 2 feet through the central portion of Florida. Everywhere else, about 6 to 12 inches, 6 to 16 inches of rain. And when your soil's already completely saturated at that point, I mean, all those trees, the root structures are going to be so weak, and you put in a 100-mile-an-hour wind, even stronger, up to 150 throughout the immediate west coast of where that eye wall is located at. I mean, you're going to get some catastrophic damage throughout that area. I can't even imagine how many millions and if not billions of dollars worth of damage that's taking place right now over there.
And we had one of our listeners try and send me something via Facebook, some video, and it did not go through, unfortunately. So if you can email that to us, I think it was Jay or John. I think it was John. If you could email that to us, weather at flagfamily.com. Would love to see that. We could put that up on our social media page. It was, I guess he has some relatives down there as well. And we're going to try, and we were talking to one of my friends earlier this morning. He is located, he's in Newport right now, which is just off the coast there north of Fort Myers. We had him on this morning. He moved inland to Newport. He was on the coast or right by the coast, and he decided to move the family inland a little bit. And we're going to try and get him on the Jay Thomas Show. We tried getting a hold of him just about before WAG show here, and we could not get a hold of him. So either they lost cell service, which is possible. I mean, with the storm coming in, and that's quite possible. We're going to try and get a hold of him. If you want to stick around here after WAG, we're going to try and get an update from him down there.
That'll be very interesting
Excellent.
to see. I mean, sorry, Bridget, with the eye wall coming in closer to the Fort Myers area, was he planning on bringing him in at the beginning or possibly towards the end of the show?
He's going to try right at the top of the show. So we'll see. I shot him a text message. Haven't heard anything back. So we're going to try one more time to get a hold of him. But yeah,
right, they're right in the middle of that eye wall right
exactly.
now. But it's about to pass over, so they will get clear weather. So you might be able to get that cell signal into them. What were you going to say, Bridget?
Well, as we wrap up and we're going to hear more about the hurricane here with Jay Thomas in the 2 o'clock hour, we won't lose sight of that as we talk tomorrow about more what's going on with the hurricane. We approach further Category 4 winds and what's going to happen with their crop, their livestock, their property. But also tomorrow we'll talk through some ag headlines, and we have an in-studio guest. She is Amanda Nigg from Sisseton, South Dakota, also known on Instagram and other social media platforms as Farm Fit Mama. She's the lady who provides me with my workouts, so I hope you all bulk up tomorrow. Make sure you hydrate well, because I bet she's not going to let us get away with just standing around and talking.
Oh, no, we're not going to be doing push-ups, are we?
There's a strong possibility, boys.
Boy.
Pay attention.
You don't have to go to the gym now, Dean.
Oh, I'm still going. I don't want to embarrass myself. I got to practice now.
I had to throw that in quotations right there, gym.
Right to the gym.
Hey, they have great drink specials there.
They do during happy hour.
It's been a great day to visit about what's going on national weather-wise. For all of you who've been listening today, we say a great big thank you. And also to those who are watching on Acres TV, please make sure that you go back, look at past episodes. You're going to find us there every day as we stream live. And then we're also archived not only on Acres TV, but on our own website, WDAY. And you can check out all of our shows and see who we've talked to, because there have been some great guests.
Right. You can also find us on Facebook at Weather and Ag in Focus, where we're still giving away those 2 rain gauges. We're going to be picking winners for those 2 rain gauges coming up this Friday, September 30th, during our show live. All you have to do is go to our Facebook page, Weather and Ag in Focus, find our top pinned post to the page for our contest to win an 11-inch rain gauge. All you got to do is drop a picture in the comments of something weather or ag or a combination of the 2 related, and everyone will have an equal chance of winning. Make sure you like that and give it a share for your opportunity to win. But that will do it for us today here on Weather and Ag in Focus. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll be back tomorrow 1 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon with more ag topics, national weather, local weather, and as well our special guest Amanda. Until then, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
970 WDAY AM and 93.1 FM, Fargo-Moorhead.